Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn, the Leather Bag Lady. How are you all today? It is, what day is it today? It's Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, 25 to 2. Had a busy morning. I was out with my client, but we'll talk about that after today's small. So if you've noticed a bit of a trend, one day I do a bag, next day I do a small item. And this is a cute little jacket, coat, wallet. Now, I've had another one of these, but this is just a little bit more substantial. In the previous one that I had, a little bit of a finer finish. So, you know, if that speaks to you, a little bit more elegance, a little bit more not as robust leather. This is all beautiful suede. And then there's that kind of, you know, 60s, 70s, kind of striated, silk or whatever it is in there. This is just a beautiful, unbranded, again, wallet, travel pouch. You've got a little, doohickey for stamps right there. Another for credit card or business cards. So let's talk a little bit about what would you use this for? So I am noticing more and more with the colleagues that I follow, when they are showing bigger bags, they are talking about using wristlets inside, pouches inside. This is the kind of thing that you could use inside of a cavernous, larger bag. And if you think smartly about it, so here's a purse pouch that I have used in the past. So this is going to let me know what's in there, because there's a lot of common sense in having different colors, so you can look in that big bag and go, oh yes, I need my lip balm, or oh yes, I need my Value Village 20% off coupons. So these items, as kind of stylish and fashion, historically fashion targeted as they are, they still, and I love the fact that this has a little gusset on the side. So you are going to be able to put something, you know, fairly substantial. I mean, if you had a small enough phone, you could maybe get your phone in there. But this is just an accent piece. Or that is if you were going to maybe use it as a daily driver, but something that you're not going in and out of every day. I mean, let's face it, I've dated this as a 70s piece. So this has lasted 40, 50 years. And why would you, I mean, are they a dime a dozen? I've got a ton of them, but I've been collecting these for 10 years. And I really haven't had a platform to offer them in a way that I do now. And the reason that I am doing it now is because my free shipping is going to be coming to an end in the next 3 to 6 months, I do believe. I just can't do it anymore. And what I am going to offer is free shipping over a certain price threshold. So why I am listing these smaller items now is because it may be that if you are, and I mean, my shipping is not expensive, even when the shipping will come into play. It will be a fixed price shipping. You are going to pay some. I'm going to pay a little bit, because what I'm going to be charging you will still not cover the whole shipping cost. That, to be honest, is just, the price for shipping is just ridiculous. And that's kind of my compromise. First of all, I didn't want to go, I mean, full disclosure, I didn't want to go through my whole 200 plus listings and start putting measurements and weights and all that kind of stuff. I ain't got time for that. So I figured I would just put a flat rate shipping fee, there will be one flat rate for the US, and there will be a flat rate for here in Canada, and there will be a threshold above which it will be free. So I want you to have the opportunity to add something, you know, that is priced a little bit more on the lower end, but it's not low end quality. So I didn't want to start bringing in bags that were going to be, you know, not up to my standards, so that I could price them a little lower. And not everybody wants 2 bags, but somebody may want a really nice wallet to go with their vintage bag, or a belt, which I haven't started yet. This top basket is full of vintage wallets, and these are pretty slim lines. So if that basket is full, you can imagine how many are in there. So I've pretty well finished that whole front row, side to side, and then it just goes down from there. So when I say I've been collecting these for 10 years, I have been collecting these for 10 years. And back in the early days, if it was leather, I picked it up. I don't do that anymore, but what that has left me with is an insane amount of littles, or smalls as I call them. And this is a beautiful, now where's the one that I did the other day? You can see kind of the difference in color tone. So this is a little bit more of a milky chocolate, and this is kind of a dark chocolate. But beautiful, beautiful pieces. Unbranded, as so much of the vintage stuff is unbranded. So I have finished this much. I don't know if you can see. So I've that many wallets, and there's still lots more to come. So I've had a busy day today. I had my client this morning, and I got up and I did a little bit of workout on the elliptical. I've got to get back to that. My mom had a little chat with me yesterday and shared with me that she can see I'm starting to let myself go a little bit, and wondered why. So that was a bit of a conversation. But yeah, I got to get on top of it no matter what else is going on in my world. That's the last thing I can let go, because if I think I'm a little down in the dumps now, oh Lord, if I start packing on that weight again, you know, it's a hole that I just don't know if I have the strength or the energy to dig myself out of yet again. 2016, I was about 255 pounds. So not anywhere near that, thank goodness, but it is a very slippery slope. And we had the conversation about the gym yesterday. And let me just finish the story with my client, because my brain's a little fuzzy today, so I'm kind of all over the place, but I want to share this story with you. So part of what I'm doing with this new client is she loves arts and crafts. So I took her and we went to Michael's and we picked up a Juicy Couture bracelet bead set. And I mean, the box is literally this big, and it makes 8 bracelets. It was $30. So it wasn't cheap, cheap, cheap. So we went to the library today, and I brought a dish towel, because I knew I didn't want the beads rolling all over the tables, because 9 times out of 10, as was this morning, we ended up having to share the table with another library user. So we separated out all the beads. We were following the guideline of the first picture, and the first reality kind of hit us that these bracelets are meant for kids. So the quantity of beads in the instructions, the length of stretchy cording is for a kid's wrist. Now, my client is quite a plus size lady. I'm no tiny lady. She wants to make some stuff for family, so they are not tiny folks either. So we ended up kind of doubling the materials that we were going to use. So we ended up, the beads were teeny weeny, tiny, tiny. So that was our second. First one, it's for kids, duh. Second, which means the sizing is way wrong. third, the beads were microscopic. And fourthly, it didn't work. So we pulled off as much of the stretchy twine as we thought was going to be good. And then in trying to do the knot at the end, the beads went everywhere. And then my client got up to, I don't know, help me pick them up. And because she is a little bit of a larger lady, she caught the corner of the dish towel and all the beads went all over the floor. The poor young man across the table from us literally was like this because the beads that were still on the table all rolled over to him. I thought, good Lord, he's going to have a story to tell at the dinner table tonight. These crazy people trying to make bracelets in the middle of the library. So I got down on my hands and knees. I picked them all up, and our learning was I will do what I can so that it's not a waste of money, but we are going to be going on Friday morning to the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, maybe back to Michael's if we can't find what. Michael's is very expensive. So we want to make robust, maybe suede lacing or leather lacing with big chunky wooden beads. Like, we want something that's going to be easy to put together and is going to be a little longer lasting, longer wearing. So it was a bit of a shit show this morning. And then I looked at my watch and I'm like, holy crap, I got to get you back because I had to get her back for lunch. So the fog this morning, Leather Bag Lady weather report, was insane. I barely made it there on time. I thought I was actually going to be much later than I was because the traffic, that's kind of my bugbear and why, it's been a bit of a struggle to kind of embrace this new client. She's wonderful. We are having a good time, but it's back in Burlington, and it's a good 20-25 minute drive, depending on traffic. If not, it could be 45 minutes to an hour. And it's just, I really didn't want to do that. But we've already discussed that, and it is what it is. So then I get home, and I am working through processing all the bags that I have recently collected. I've done a bit of thrifting over the last few weeks, so added a lot of bags to my already over-the-top numbers. So I don't know, it's addiction. It's an addiction, folks. It's an absolute addiction. So to follow up on what we chatted about yesterday, prior to me getting my ceilings spray foamed, I literally had to go through the whole house and pack it up. And I don't know if you follow me regularly, you may remember that I broke down all the tasks, and we talked about it yesterday. I can only manage a little bit at a time. So what I did last night is I emptied out the jar of all the jobs that I had written down, and looked at them, refolded them up, put them back in the jar, wrote them out in my notebook, and then I added what I had missed out. And I was going to do it with you today, but I forgot to bring the jar into the shed here. But every day, I'm going to pull a job out of that jar, and I'm going to share it with you. And that is my household chore that I'm going to do Monday to Friday. So as I shared with you yesterday, I hate it. I don't enjoy it. I guess partly is because I'm trying desperately to have some pride in my living space. I'm not dissing it. That was my New Year's resolution. I think I've screwed up maybe 3 times so far, but I am trying to embrace my living space and enjoy it more and get it more to a relaxed space. I'm not sure that will ever happen, but I'm watching some decorating shows. I'm trying desperately to find small space decorating programs so that and I mean, most of these programs are just sharing, you go up, and that's kind of all I've got, because I mean, as tiny as my house is, it's much bigger than I would ever be able to afford, you know, if I was to get an apartment or, I mean, not that that's what I'm thinking of doing, but, you know, it's just, I don't want to live like this anymore. I really don't. There's shit everywhere. It's much better than it's been. And I don't know about you. Now, if you're in Canada, especially in my neck of the woods, Marketplace. Nothing is selling on Marketplace. So I'm kind of at a junction here as to whether or not could I scramble and empty out my storage unit so that I don't need it anymore? Yeah, I probably could. But here's where my brain's going with that. As I move up with my Shop at the Shed episodes, I'm hoping to be able to do 3 a week. That is 15 bags every week that I am going to have to be able to just pick off a shelf. I sold a bag on Etsy overnight and I couldn't find it. It actually was smaller than I thought it was, so I wasn't looking in the right spot. But I'm going to have to be able to get these bags at a moment's notice so that I can you know, re-moisturize them. I will say it again. Today's little bag is gorgeous that is heading out to the US, but it needed to be re-moisturized. I've had it for a year plus. It's been sitting out in, you know, open storage and it dries. So, you know, before I moisturized it, I was like, you know, there's a little mark here, there's a little mark there. And then I moisturized it and it is so lush. It looks so much richer and it's just a beautiful, beautiful little bag. So please, whatever moisturizer you choose to use, Leather Better is what I swear by, but I'm not sure it's available outside of Canada. Chamberlain's a little more expensive, but I've used that a lot in the past. Whatever moisturizer you feel works for you, give your bags, you know, pull it out before you use it, especially if it's a vintage piece and you don't use it all the time. You know, check it out before you use it. The corners, you know, give it a little bit of a boost before you strut that piece down the street, you know? Anyway, everybody, it's not much happening else for me today. I've got a lady coming to pick up a pair of boots, which, good Lord, she's been trying to pick them up for days. I had COVID, and then it was a snowstorm, and so hopefully today we'll get those boots off to her. And I'm just working away on, I've done my video for Thursday. All the bags are listed and the small item. What small did I? Oh, yes, you'll like the small. And yeah, so that is about it. I'm not really got much planned for the rest of the day. Just will be doing my thing and hoping you're all having a great day and a productive day. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.